So far as I am acquainted with the principles and doctrines of Freemasonry, I conceive it to be founded in benevolence and to be exercised only for the good of mankind. If it has been a cloak to promote improper or nefarious objects, it is a melancholy proof that in unworthy hands the best institutions may be made use of to promote the worst designs. George Washington. Read everything, listen to everybody, believe nothing unless you can prove it with your own research. Bill Cooper. Good evening, everybody. Or actually afternoon, I'm just so used to saying good evening. I was watching Marty Leeds live earlier this morning, I think. Sorry for the blur. Anyways, there we go. And I was like, what? Because I like his stuff. What he does is stuff that I would probably not have found if he wasn't doing his lessons on it, right? So it's good stuff. This is not a hit piece on Marty Leeds. This is about what he gets wrong. And if he gets it wrong, this is the basics of waking up. Waking up. You're going to learn about Freemasons. You're going to learn about the Illuminati. You're going to learn about the Founding Fathers. You're going to learn about Bill Cooper. Bill Cooper is going to be the one person who you realized, hey, someone was doing this decades ago, and he kept getting things right. He figured things out. And he was pretty much doing it alone. There was a couple of people he would interview. But now, let me just get straight to the point and show you what I was seeing. Okay, so here it is. The links are all below. You can go ahead and watch this, and you can go ahead and look at all the material that I have. You could visit the same places that I do. Found what I found. Of course, I would love to spend a lot more time and go directly to the source, but a lot of people have gone to the source before. And by source, usually it's a .gov site because people won't believe it if it's in some like other site. And of course, if you are in this arena where the government's lying to you, yeah, they could probably all make it up. If you go to those sites, you just got to look at so many different sources. Okay, so here it is when he talks about Freemasonry and what he believes Freemasonry is, and not that I disagree. I think it the same way as George Washington does, and we'll go ahead and visit that too. So we'll start off with this part. Now, just to let you know, I'm not just some unknown troll who just makes comments on YouTube videos or makes a chat, say something in chat. This is me. This is my secondary account. I've had, to this date, not including this one, 662 uploads of videos. Only 1,034 subscribers, but 348,717 video views. That's not a lot, but that's a lot of videos. I spent so many time online making videos. Of course, Marty Leeds Live, he's made other videos. His Marty Leeds Live has 92 uploads, 16,480 subscribers, 266,584 views. So I'm just saying that I'm just not some unknown agent, whatever, trying to make a hit piece on Marty Leeds. I'm just pointing out what Marty Leeds has said, stated, and it's wrong, and here's why, with research. So let's begin.
And that's exactly what I believe Masonry to be. Masonry is supposed to be, once again, a mystery school for the common man that teaches, just as we've talked about in the last couple lectures, especially the lecture on the cult of Christianity, that basically when you study Masonic scholars and authors, one of the things that they'll tell you about is the esotericism behind so much of this stuff. And this is why they focus so much on mathematics. This is why, you'll see the compasses and square, which are drafting tools. You'll see the 47th principle of Euclid, which is, of course, the Pythagorean theorem. You'll see this sort of symbology surrounding Masonry. And what Masonry is there to do is to tell you that, hey, this is a book of esotericism. This is a book of occultism. This is a book of mysticism, right? And this is what we covered it a bit when talking about morals and dogma, but we really touched on it and spent a long time sort of deconstructing the idea in the Cult of Christianity video. Okay, that basically that's, you know, the churches across the land, they essentially, for the most part, teach exotericism, and what the mystery schools are there to tell you that, hey man, the mystery tradition has continued on for the common man, and it's found within the Holy Bible. And this is why the Holy Bible is, there's three great lights. It's called the furniture of the lodge in Masonry, but there's three great lights in Masonry. It's the compasses, the square, but first and foremost, before the compasses and square, it's the Holy Bible. So that's what I believe Mr. Ward is saying there. Now, most
So that's that part. I have a difference in opinion on this one. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do. The control, one of the areas of control is religion, and you don't go back to a form of control. But look, this is what I said. What Freemasonry is supposed to be is not what Freemasonry is now, and that is pretty much true if you do your own research. Now, all I will say is a lot of people don't know this, and people should know this. Okay? The first third party of the United States, third political party of the United States, and no one gets this right. Everyone thinks it's the Whig Party. They merged into the Whig Party. The first third party of the United States was called the Anti-masonic Party, also known as the Anti-masonic movement. And I've done videos on this with William Morgan and John Quincy Adams and a whole bunch of others. And you can do, the thing is, I just want you to do your own research. You're going to find that out. It strongly opposed Freemasonry as a single issue party and later aspired to become a major party by expanding its platform to take positions on other issues. So people don't realize this, and why would it be such a big deal if Freemasonry wasn't an important issue to even tackle? It was a big issue back in the 1800s. It's going to be a big issue in the 2000s. Now, you can see John Quincy Adams, he had a large part to it. He was a mentor to someone who founded the Anti-Masonic Party along with someone else. Again, I'm not going to go over this entire thing with you. I just want you to understand where I'm trying to come from. Now, just to understand the Adams line, the John Quincy Adams, even Samuel Adams, which was a cousin to John Adams. Now, the founding fathers, there are plenty that own slaves. And if you look, you'll find ones that don't find slaves. And hopefully you can do your own research, because it says here, how many of the signers of the Declaration of Independence owned slaves? 41. If you can't do your own research to find the ones who didn't own slaves, you're going to be you're doing worse research than a middle school in Chardon, Ohio. All this research was done by 8th grade students in October 2014. So if you can't do this research, I'm sorry. Just stay asleep. So you'll find Samuel Adams and John Adams did not own slaves, along with a couple of others. Many of them did own slaves. And why this is, and you can find the evidence for it, and they've already went ahead and said it, and they go ahead and find a bunch of resources in the time that they access that resource, because resources change, they get taken down, they realize they don't want the public knowing this because people are actually looking at it or something like that. Now you can even find this now when I get into famous Freemasons, the best way to say it is, okay, Grand Lodge of Virginia. And of course, George Washington, they put George Washington in it, although he was only, he was made a Mason when he was 20, back in August 4th, 1753. But he hasn't, no one else really. He says he hasn't been there much. And you'll see articles, you'll see letters from the Masons themselves. They'll tell you basically Freemasons in the American Revolution. You'll find that John Adams, Samuel Adams, big part of the Revolution, American Revolution. He wasn't a Freemason. Benjamin Franklin was, John Hancock was, They state George Washington was. But anyways, these are the Thomas Paine. So they'll tell you who the Freemasons were because they wanna get notable people to be known as some more people who come into the Freemasonry. They see, hey, look, these are the famous presidents. These are the famous people in history that were Freemasons. Now, when we get down into George Washington, was George Washington a Freemason? You'll say many that there are. Hi, Bjorn. Listening in while changing a stuck brake disc. Oof. So, was George Washington really a devout Mason? This is from the Federalist Papers. Now, they're going to be pretty much anti-masonic. Then you can go to the Masons themselves. www.fairfaxmasoniclodge556.com. They're going to reference the same quote, and I'll just go ahead and reference the same quote here that they have. It says, asked more specifically about Freemasonry in 1798, Washington wrote, so far as I am acquainted with the principles and doctrines of Freemasonry, I conceive them to be founded on benevolence and to be exercised for the good of mankind. So yeah, they're founded on good principles, is that's what he's saying. Now, he also says, if it has been a cloak to promote improper and nefarious object, it is melancholy proof that in unworthy hands the best institutions may be made use of to promote the worst designs. So basically, if anyone pretty much infiltrated the best institution in order to promote the good of mankind, well, they could do the most harm. So that's what a lot of research into conspiracy theories has been, that there's been an infiltration of all the Freemasonic lodges within the United States and elsewhere in the world by the so-called Illuminati. And that's also been referenced in George Washington notes, letters. You can read it in the Federalist Papers. They'll go ahead and show that, and you can also read it in probably Congress.gov or the Library of Congress. You're gonna find the letters of George Washington. You can go there because I've read it, and he states in a letter to G.W. Snyder a month and a half prior to the one cited by Dean, which we just read about. He goes, I've heard much of the nefarious and dangerous plan and doctrines of the Illuminati. And of course, you're going to run through this, like I said before. If you're going to start going down the rabbit hole, wake yourself up, take down all the layers of the onion, layers of being hypnotized, brainwashed, whatever. You're going to go through this down a rabbit hole. You're going to find all of this stuff. The Illuminati, oh, that's just conspiracy theory. George Washington wrote about it, and that someone was telling him that the Grand Lodges have been infiltrated by the so-called Illuminati. Okay, here. I've heard much of the nefarious and dangerous plan and doctrines of the Illuminati, but never saw the book until you were pleased to send it to me. The same causes which have prevented my knowledge of the receipt of your letter, have prevented my reading the book hitherto, namely the multiplicity of matters which pressed upon me before, and the debilitated state in which I was left after a severe fever had been removed, and which allows me to add little more now than thanks for your kind wishes and favorable sentiments, except to correct an error you have run into of my presiding over the English lodges in this country. The fact is, I preside over none, nor have I been in one more than once or twice within the last 30 years. I believe, notwithstanding, that none of the lodges in this country are contaminated with the principles ascribed to the Society of Illuminati. So basically, George Washington was acknowledging that, yeah, there is an Illuminati, that they are nefarious and dangerous. But George Washington, even though he hasn't been in a lodge or twice in over 30 years, he believes that none of the lodges in the United States at that time are contaminated with the principles of Illuminati. So there's that part. So yeah, the Freemasons could have been a good um, good and benevolent organization, secret society, whatever, but they're so secret. How would you know that they've ever not been infiltrated by something worse and still being used? And that's what the conspiracy theorists we're all agreeing upon, that nothing really seems to come out of the Freemasons. And so there you go. So yeah, if you want to teach numbers and things like that associated with the Holy Book, and we see that with the septenary, well, the Holy Bible was written by the secret society with the mystery schools. But that's neither nor now, here or now. Okay, so we'll go on to the second video, and where I'm gonna have to defend Bill Cooper, and it's pretty easy to defend Bill Cooper. Bill Cooper is the one who's, I would say, is the father of the current generation of people who research into the truth movement, finding the truth. His main saying, which I put in that quote, is, listen, you read everything, listen to everybody, believe nothing except for what you do your own research into. So you'll hear everybody, just do your own research. Do your own research. Don't go off what anybody else says, unless you've researched it yourself. And part of what we do is we help people research. That's why we want to give you sources and links, so you can go ahead and decide for yourself and just go as deep to the source as you can. You'll find it, whether it's in a .gov site, .edu site, whatever. Just make sure that what you're reading into cite sources as well, and they'll give their feedback. And one of the things I like to do is, hey, you got a site that's saying something bad about Freemasons, that they're probably anti-masonic. Well, then read about what the Freemasons are saying. They're going to be pretty much pro-Freemasons. So are they stating the same thing, whether someone said something like George Washington, whether they wrote that in a letter? Yeah, they both agree on that. They'll give different takes on it. So right then you've already got that. Okay, they both agree on one fundamental thing. That's the information. Now, what their thoughts on the information that was presented, that's something else, and you're going to have to do your own research to come up with the end results on that. So here we go for the part about Marty Leeds talking about Bill Cooper.
So this is the other one somebody sent me about, once again, just these notions and ideas that Masons run the world and they're all, blah, 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 they're in control of everything, blah, blah, blah. This is from William Cooper, and this actually comes from a site. I think it's the Truth is My Religion on Instagram or something like that. And this guy's a flat earther. Right? And he says, this quote comes from Mr. Bill Cooper, Mr. William Cooper. It says, I tell you now that Freemasonry is one of the most wicked and terrible organizations upon this earth. The Masons are major players in the struggle for world domination. The 33rd degree is split into two. One split contains the core of Luciferian Illuminati, and the other contains those who have no knowledge of it whatsoever. William Cooper. Dun dun dun. How the hell would William Cooper know? How the hell would William Cooper know what goes on at the 32nd or 33rd degree? Not only is he so much in the know, that he's actually so much in the know that he knows the conspiracy behind the 33rd degree, that it actually splits off. Bill Cooper it had a lot of great things to say, but Bill Cooper was also crazy as fuck. He said all sorts of crazy shit, guys, okay? Like, it doesn't say he didn't get some things right, but he said all sorts of nonsense. He wasn't a 33rd degree Mason. He was never a Mason. He would have no idea what goes on in the lodge. He has no idea about the notion that the 33rd degree is split and it's nonsense. He doesn't know anything, which is so funny that this quote is posted on The Truth Is My Religion, or I think that's what the channel is on Instagram.
Oh shoot, I was talking and I didn't realize I was muted. Okay, so I'll state it again. So what Marty Leeds doesn't know is that Bill Cooper, he interviewed a 32nd degree Freemason. I mean, how would you not know that if you know so much about Bill Cooper that you think he's crazy? And then this one is at least a 2-hour long interview. It might have been 4 hours. I don't know. I haven't gone back to it. But the first thing I ever gone through was through all the stuff that Bill Cooper went through. And then we're going to hear more from Marty Leeds about Bill Cooper.
The account is on Instagram, right? It's posted on a channel that is really into flat Earth. And do you know how Bill Cooper got famous, guys? Do you know how Bill Cooper? It's his book called Behold the Pale Horse, right? Well, Behold the Pale Horse was essentially about, and there's a little quote here, right? It says, Bill Cooper is not a psychic. His information comes from top secret documents that he read while in the intelligence briefing team and from over 17 years of thorough research. Bill Cooper is the world's leading expert on UFOs. The only man in America who has all the pieces to the puzzle that has troubled so many for so long. So here, a flat earther is promoting the quote from a guy that thinks that all masonry is evil and knows about some split at the 33rd degree, and then half of them are Luciferians and blah blah blah. He knows about all this stuff, and that guy said the main point of his book was that the UFOs were basically coming.
Ouch! I'm sorry to do this to you, Marty. William Cooper, I'm going to play back. William Cooper, aliens, UFOs are government hosts created for Project Bluebeam. It's a mirror to another. This one's about 13 minutes long. Here we go.
What do you think about aliens?
I don't think there are any. At one time, I thought that there were, simply based upon documents that I'd seen while I was attached to the intelligence briefing team, the commander-in-chief of the Pacific Fleet. At that time, and even for many years afterwards, I did not believe that the government would use me in that way. I had devoted my whole life to government service. I had been in the Air Force, I was in the Navy, I was a river patrol boat captain in Vietnam, I had proved myself, I had combat ribbons with the V for Valor. There was no doubt of my loyalty to my country. And maybe that's why it was so easy to use me, because I wouldn't doubt that what I saw was real. But over the years, I've done a lot of research. And what I've discovered is there's no proof existing anywhere that extraterrestrials are real, or that have ever visited this planet, or that they exist anywhere in the universe. There is not one shred of evidence anywhere. There is lots of evidence, tons of it in fact, that there are a group of people collectively known as the Illuminati who want us to believe in some extraterrestrial threat from space so that they can cause a world government, bringing together of all the people to resist that external threat. And the first time that I saw any reference to that, I was reading some papers from the Carnegie Endowment Fund, and there was a record of a speech. It was a dinner for Viscount Ishii of the Japanese delegation, the Japanese imperial delegation, in 1917. And John Dewey was one of the speakers. And the first sentence out of his mouth, as I was reading this, almost fell out of my chair, because this was in 1917. And he said, the best way to cause all the people of the world to come together in one world government and end war forever would be if we were attacked by some other species from some other planet. And boy, that just clicked with me, and I knew that that this is just another scam. This is the age of deception. There's no doubt about it. And then 8 times during Reagan's administration, he inserted almost the exact same phrase into 8 of his speeches. And it's a scam. That's what I can tell you.
That was just 2 minutes and 38 seconds worth of that. So Marty, go ahead and watch the entire thing. It's 12 minutes 57 seconds long. It's been mirrored because it's probably been taken down. If you don't know what Project Bluebeam is, how can we trust you on knowing any of the stuff that you know? This is Conspiracy Theory 101. Everyone starts with Bill Cooper. Once they find Bill Cooper, they watch all and listen to all of his stuff. They see his transformance from what he originally believed with the government and all this stuff into what he believed before he died. And when he died, he was murdered by a setup. Now, again, let me just play back something about Alex Jones. If you're along with Alex Jones, well, a lot of people in conspiracy theory arena just know Alex Jones is a government shill or something like that. And Bill Cooper saw it when he got interviewed by Alex Jones. And here's just a little bit of a clip.
Before we get started, I have to clear up a little discrepancy here. Apparently the other night, or within the last week, because I've been getting a lot of email about this, and I even received one telephone call. Apparently somebody called the Alex Jones broadcast and asked him why he didn't have me on the air, or asked him something about me. Alex Jones said he had me on the air once before, several years ago, and had to cut me off the air because of the foul language that I used. So on the air tonight, I'm going to tell you, Alex Jones, you are a bold-faced, miserable, stinking little coward liar. Now let me say that again so there's no mistake about it. You can all tell Alex Jones that I said this, and I suspect he's listening because he does. Alex Jones, you are a bold-faced, stinking, rotten little coward liar. I was only on the Alex Jones show one time. It was years ago, when I didn't know who he was, when I didn't realize what a liar and a coward and a sensationalist bullshit artist that he is. He was on one little FM station down in Texas. He wasn't on all the stuff that he's on now. And I agreed to be on his broadcast. That's when I was doing guest appearances on broadcasts, years ago. I was not cut off. I did not use any kind of foul language whatsoever. He treated me very well. And I stayed on for the whole show. Some of you in Texas know that that's true because you heard the broadcast and you taped it. Later, when I found out who Alex Jones was and what he was doing to the truth, and what a cowardly liar and sensationalist he really is, every time he called me after that, I have always refused to appear on his broadcast. Absolutely refused to lend him any credibility whatsoever.
Okay, so that's 2 minutes and 24 seconds. You can watch the rest of it, or listen to the rest of it. There's more to it than just a 6-minute clip here. But now, here's also something. Bill Cooper predicted 9/11. You don't think so? Well, that's what he's known for. He's going to tell you, like, you're going to think Bill Cooper is crazy because he believes in UFOs, because he thinks he knows about the Freemasonry, what goes on the 33rd degree, even though he had an interview with the 32nd degree Freemason. Of course, 33 degree Freemason probably isn't going to interview him, but he talks about someone who left the Freemasonry, he got to the 32nd degree, and he interviews him. That's how he got his knowledge. He's not a Freemason, yeah. He believed in UFOs, and now you see a video of him saying he doesn't believe it. It's all hoax. Because he understands that it is a hoax. It's Project Bluebeam. That's not crazy. That's pretty much the truth that we figured out. He figured it out before any of us did. We did our own research. We found the same things that he did. We found more evidence for it. We see it happening. We agree that it's most likely what they're planning. And here's 9/11. Here's his prediction. How do you not know this?
The largest intelligence apparatus in the world, with the biggest budget in the history of the world, has been looking for Osama bin Laden for years and years and years, and can't find him. Some doofus jerk-off reporter with a camera crew waltzes right into his hideout and interviews him. So why do all these fools believe this charade? That a CNN reporter and his little camera crew can do what all the money and all the assets and all the eavesdropping and all the intelligence and all the satellites and all the undercover operatives in the world can never do. It's because they're not trying. They don't want to. Osama bin Laden is their creation, and he is serving them well. I mean, is this some kind of incredible joke that people are so stupid they'll fall for this? And now we're being bombarded with messages that Osama bin Laden is planning to attack the United States of America and Israel. Let me tell you something. If he's an enemy of Israel and the Mossad can't find him, then this thing is the biggest joke that you ever heard of in your life. And I'm telling you, be prepared for a major attack. But it won't be Osama bin Laden. It will be those behind the New World Order who once again want to take the guns and the freedom away from the American people, because we're the only ones left in the world who can oppose the destruction of freedom in the world and then the implementation of a one-world totalitarian socialist government, and that is the goal. And whatever is going to happen that they're going to blame on Osama bin Laden, don't you even believe it. Another social illusion, social engineering project to change the minds and the attitudes and the beliefs of the people of the world, and especially the United States, to bring about one world socialist totalitarian government. I wonder what Osama bin Laden's targets are supposed to be. And if they don't, if this doesn't materialize in the next 2 or 3 weeks, it will eventually materialize, because they haven't succeeded in getting the guns out of the hands of the American people, nor have they succeeded in taking our freedoms away. In fact, there's been a great awakening in this country and a big backlash against these Marxist, communist, puke-faced, lying, subversive, Nazi, jackbooted Gestapo thugs that is gaining momentum. And so I can tell you with a certainty, they must do something terrible in order to stop this backlash and regain the sympathy of the mass herds of sheeple out there. And supposedly we're not the only nation searching for Osama bin Laden. So the vast economic resources, the vast technological resources, the vast personnel resources, the vast networks and intricate web spun over all these years by the CIA, the FBI, and the NSA can't find Osama bin Laden, but CNN can? Bullshit. What a crying shame. How in the world could this country of all nations breed such a dumbed down, unthinking, illiterate, uneducated, stupid, ignorant population?
All right, so that's 4 minutes of it. Hi, Leela. Okay, I'll be up there soon. The tape? No, this is for my wooden dummy. I need it.
But I want it because I don't have anything for my car and my trees.
Well, I'll make stuff for you, okay? We'll make real cargo, like coal, lumber, but I'm gonna need this, okay?
Until you're done?
Yes, until I'm done. Until I find a replacement. I'll be upstairs in a bit, okay?
When are you going to be done with it?
I'm pretty much done. Give me 5 minutes. Okay.
That?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't worry, I'll find a replacement for you, right? Okay. I'll be up there soon. I'll find something else for you, okay, Leela? Okay, I'll bring this up. We'll figure something out. Sorry for that. My daughter. All right. Yeah, it's just. So yeah, Marty Leeds. You can go and watch all this. I am no agent. You see my face, you hear my voice, you see videos, not just like 2 videos. I've got 662 videos. And on my side channel, 124 videos. On my other live streams, I live stream more than just YouTube. I live stream on stream.me, Periscope, DLive, and on Steemit through vim.tv. So yeah, know your stuff before you make fun of it and call someone crazy. The forefather of the conspiracy truther movement that it is now is all because of Bill Cooper and what he did, and he got killed for it. So let's finish up your final thoughts on Bill Cooper.
The aliens were coming. This is a Flat Earth channel that's promoting this shit. This is utter and complete ignorance. Okay? Now,
again, it's not utter and complete ignorance. We did our research. That person did his research. I did my research. Bill Cooper did his research. He told us to do our research. We did our research.
once again, as we talked before, I'm not talking that there ain't evil Masons out there, or there aren't absolutely nefarious and wicked and evil, vile people within all sorts of different organizations. We know that, man. We know that evil is going to, reach its tentacles out to wherever it needs to go. And you can sure as shit, it's going to go into the education system. It's going to go into the governments. It's going to go into the charities. It's going to go into the, the science and blah, 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 right? And obviously it's going to go into what is purported to be, and as we'll see, is a mystery school for the common man. So these evil people, of course, are going to find all sorts of inroads to get into all of these positions of power, right? And so, of course, an organization like Masonry that is basically a brotherhood of a community is a perfect way to, perpetuate evil. Infiltrate an organization that's based on bringing, making good men better, bringing men to God. So, the Bill Cooper thing is just nuts, right? So, basically, if you want to talk about what I believe has happened to Masonry over the years,
So that's that. If you're talking about ignorance, I've just told you everything that you've got wrong about Bill Cooper. That's ignorance. I'm another Flat Earth channel. The Earth is most likely flat than not. It's definitely not what they say as far as it's a globe. But yeah, you got stuff wrong about Bill Cooper. And if you got stuff wrong about Bill Cooper, what else have you got wrong about Freemasons? The Freemasons are still good, that they haven't been infiltrated by the Illuminati. We hear that from George Washington, that there's probably been an infiltration of the Illuminati into the lodges in the United States. We just went over that. That there was an anti-masonic party during John Quincy Adams's run. That there was the third political party in the United States besides Republicans and Democrats was the anti-masonic party. Obviously, there should be a reason for that, because hey, some odd stuff is afoot with the Freemason lodges. I mean, you would think the third political party in the United States would have something a little bit more important than something about being anti-masonic. That doesn't compute. That's just an ignorant political movement. So before you state other people who have been doing their own research or being ignorant about subject matters that they've been looking into, please do your own research on it first, because you're looking pretty ignorant. I like your stuff. This is not a hit piece. I just want to let you know that you were wrong. Now, whether you acknowledge that you're wrong or not, that's on you. Thank you.